Efforts to reduce the radiation threat at the crippled Fukushima nuclear plant have riveted the global scientific community. Peter Burns has 40 years' experience in radiation safety and was Australia's representative on the United Nations Scientific Committee on the effects of atomic radiation. And he stressed that the only releases so far have been volatile gases that don't pose a major threat.
We've seen increasingly desperate measures to maintain the water levels in the reactors and the spent fuel cooling ponds over the last few days. I believe today they are restoring power to the site and will be able to use the generators and the pumps that are on site to maintain the water levels, so hopefully that will work.
Of course, the big fear is that there could be a more serious situation, perhaps a meltdown. Can you explain for us what that process would be, and has that threat eased in your view?
Well, a meltdown is really usually associated with the reactor core when it's in operation. The reactors have all been switched off for about a week now, and the amount of residual heat is a lot less than when the reactors are operating, of course. So as long as they can maintain the water levels in these reactors, then the threat of a meltdown would be averted.
The US is advising of a much wider exclusion zone than the one that is actually in place. Do you think that the Japanese are perhaps underplaying the situation?
Well, in the last few days, overnight, there's been reports of dose rates of 0.1 millisievert per hour, 30-40 kilometres northwest of the facility. And at these levels, it is getting to be a concern. You would assume that you would get doses of 1 to 2 millisieverts in a day at those sort of levels. Now, if those levels fall from now, then that's all right. That's not a terribly big dose, but there is the potential for not only those levels to be maintained for the next few days, but also to increase. And if you're starting to get doses of tens of millisieverts, then that is of concern and would warrant evacuation. But it would not be worth evacuating people to avoid doses of 1 or 2 millisieverts.
What about the workers who are involved in this effort? How serious is the threat to their health?
Well, there is very high dose rates in these buildings because the fuel elements have been exposed to the air. The water provides two functions. It keeps the fuel elements cool, but it also shields the radiation from the fuel elements so that you can go and work in these buildings. The dose rates have got to very high levels, and workers going in there and working around the buildings are getting very much higher levels of radiation than you'd get in normal operations, and are getting, I believe, 1 to 200 millisieverts some workers have got, which is a significant amount, and if levels go up much more than that, then it would be a very serious situation.
Peter Burns, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.